Kia ora koutou, hello everybody, and welcome to this video about astrology from the point of view of New Zealand or Aotearoa. In this video I'm going to talk about Mercury Cazimi, which is the exact point in the middle of Mercury Retrograde, which we are in. Cazimi is the point where Mercury is in line with the Sun. It's conjunct the Sun, and Mercury is sitting between the Earth and the Sun. This is an interesting moment where we can ask the universe a question. My name is Fiona of Sun and Moon Calendar.nz, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, write a comment, maybe something about how Mercury retrograde is affecting you, and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get into it. The Mercury Cazimi moment, or Mercury conjunct Sun, will take place on Wednesday the 6th of September at 11:08 p.m. So you might want to stay up for that. We have been in Mercury retrograde since the 24th of August, and that continues until the 16th of September. You may be experiencing some of those classic symptoms of Mercury retrograde, like communications going wrong, technology not quite working, whether that is digital technology or machines like cars. Short distance travel might not quite work out, the plans might go awry, communications get lost, all of that. You might have been experiencing any or all of those, or the people around you may have been, are very likely to have been. Underneath those surface level kind of symptoms that are inconvenient, but we can deal with them, there is a deeper review going on during Mercury retrograde, and that is a review of some of our decision making and our thinking processes. And after the Mercury retrograde, we will be able to move on more clearly and positively. The point of this video is to talk about Mercury Cazimi, which is the midpoint of the Mercury retrograde, and this is where, as Mercury has moved from being an evening star to a morning star during the retrograde, at the midpoint it comes into conjunction with the Sun. I've written there inferior conjunction because that is where Mercury is between the Sun and the Earth, rather than Mercury being on the other side of the Earth. At the midpoint of the retrograde of Mercury, at the Cazimi moment, this is an opportunity to ask the universe a question. Mercury, our decision making, our thinking, our communication skills, is in a conversation with the Sun, right in the heart of the Sun at that time. This means that there is an ability to access wisdom at that moment. All the rest of the Mercury retrograde, we are not quite as wise as we usually are, because that retrograde motion is making our thinking processes less clear and less able to operate in their normal way. But at the moment of the Cazimi, there's an opportunity to have easier access to insight or understanding from the Sun and Mercury. There are different opinions in the astrological community about when exactly is the window of time around the exact moment, 11:08. I tend to try and go for as close as I can to the actual moment, so I will stay up till 11:08 that night. Last Mercury retrograde, I think it was in April, the exact moment of the Cazimi was in the middle of the morning, and I was lucky enough to be able to take a morning tea break away from my workplace at that time, and I walked down to the river. I had my question already, I'd been planning it, and I walked amongst the river stones and looked at the water and whispered to myself my questions and explained to the universe why I had that question. And then I said, "Kei koe, universe, it's up to you now." And as I was walking back to work and crossing the road, I got my download, so that was pretty lucky straight away. It was subtle. It was just a memory, like awareness of something I know about myself that made me see my question in a different way, and I felt made me have a more mature response to the issue that was going on. So that worked really well, and I'm going to do it again this Mercury retrograde with the Mercury Cazimi. There we go again, just to show you the exact time on the 6th of September, which is a Wednesday at 11:08 p.m. and that is that Mercury Cazimi moment. And that moment happens to be trine to the planet Jupiter. So perhaps your question might be a bigger question, a more expansive and an optimistic question. Why not? You can be as expansive and ridiculously big and over the top as you want to be. It is your question, and you don't even need to tell anyone else about it unless you want to. So here we've got a slide just reminding us of the other astrological energies going on. Venus goes direct 2 days before this Mercury Cazimi. Yay! And after the Mercury goes direct on the 16th of September with those two personal planets having been retrograde, that really can affect our lives a lot. Like we can feel like we can't move forward. But late in September, we will be feeling a lot more like we can move forward. Having said that, all the outer planets will be retrograde from the 5th of September, but that affects us in more subtle ways, more on an internal level. It won't be quite so obvious. They go retrograde months at a time, so we're quite used to it. Pluto in the late degrees of Capricorn is still working to undo some of those abuses of power and misuses of power in the area of top-down control, external authority affecting us, and where we've given away our autonomy. That will be affecting us on a deep soul level. This is the last chance to be working on it, because Pluto is going to move into Aquarius shortly and will never be in Capricorn again in our lifetime. So it's a really good time to explore our internal understanding of power and where our locus of autonomy is. Is it within ourselves, or have we given it away? And square to those karmic lunar nodes that can still be pretty intense, but we've been going through it. The end is in sight, because Pluto will soon station to go direct, and then it will gradually move away from those nodes. Then it's going to move into Aquarius, and we'll have a little bit of release from some of those pressures with top-down authority and control. Having said that, it's our last chance. It's our last chance with Pluto and Capricorn, but we can always be working on our inner sense of power and autonomy. There we go, everyone. That is my video about Mercury Cazimi, this opportunity to ask a question of the universe. At around 11:08 on the 6th of September, as well as asking my question and thinking about Mercury and the Sun, I will be sending my thoughts out to you and to anyone else that is sharing that moment as we join together in that connection with Mercury and the Sun. Hei kōna rā, all the best for the remainder of the Mercury retrograde. Ka kite.